Namo Namaha. Welcome to our channel Shruti Parampara or the secret of Vedas or heritage of Vedas. Now we are in my last episode we had started this secrets of Vedas. So what is intended by secrets of Vedas? In fact, we are in our country, as I told last time, we have heard about Vedas, but most of the people do not know what are the contents and what was the purpose of these Vedas, what they convey to mankind. Last time I had discussed the word Veda, what is the meaning of Veda, and how this Veda arrived was these Veda mantras, they are visualized by our rishis, and how these Vedas arrived and became available to mankind. In fact, these Vedas are not an intellectual exercise, so we do not call it philosophy. This is called darshan, means it has been seen, it has been observed, it has been seen, experienced by our rishis. So now we will come next to it. So in each we learned last time that we have four Vedas, that is Rig Ved, Sam Ved, Yajur Ved and Atharva Ved. And as these Vedas were categorized in these four parts, and we observe this Guru Purnima as the birthday of Ved Vyasa, who had categorized these Vedas in four Vedas, Ved mantras in four Vedas. Now each Ved has some sections. These Vedas have, each Ved has, entire Ved is consisting of four sections. One section, first section is called Sanghita Bhag. Then the next is called Brahman Bhag. Then Aranyak, and last one is Upanishad. So each Ved is having these four sections. In Rig Ved, Sam Ved, Yajur Ved, Atharva Ved. So the first part, which is called Sanghita Bhag. What is this Sanghita Bhag? In fact, all the mantras which are used with yajna. You mean what is yajna? I have told that these Sanskrit words cannot be translated. They are non-translatable. So yajna, we all know, every Hindu knows what is the meaning of yajna. So it was performed with a fire in a yajna kunda, and we offered and ahuti on this. And every mantra was pronounced along with some ahuti. So this the mantras which were recited and along with ahuti, that those mantras which were recited for yajna, they are contained in the Sanghita Bhag. So why it is called Sanghita? Because in Sanskrit, the words they get joined together. How you have, those who have studied Gita, they know that in a shloka, two words get joined because of there are some rules in Sanskrit. Because there's when two swara, means the a, e, u, they are called swara. They come near and very near. Both cannot remain at the same time. Either one of the two, either former one or the later one, or any third one, they will be there. So some changes happen when two letters join. So this change is called Sanghita. So when the two words of a mantra get joined, So in that way the mantras has been recited. That is the original form of the mantras. So they are called Sanghita. So now to understand what the meaning of the mantra, they have to be separated. So this is called Padapart. Then they are separated. Then each word is called Pada. Then Pada Vichhed, Pada Vibhag, that is called Pada Vibhag. Then each word is recited separately. That is different. But when these mantras are used with yajna, they are in the original form, that is Sanghita form. That is why that first part is called Sanghita. This Sanghita part contains the main mantras of the Veda. So this every Veda has its Sanghita. So this now there is next the other part is called Brahman Bhag. Brahman does not mean this Brahman caste which we know. In Vedas, there is a portion, there is section what is called Brahman. As I called, there is a section Sanghita. There is another section is Brahman. So I told you there are four sections: Sanghita, Brahman, Aranyak, and Upanishad. So we have seen what is Sanghita. Now come to what is Brahman. Brahman is another section. Here also the same mantras are there, but Brahman portion tells us that how these mantras are to be recited and the ahuti is to be offered. These are the instructions are given in Brahman Bhag. Brahman Bhag gives all these instructions. How these mantras are to be applied in a yajna. The application. In Sanghita Bhag there are mantras and Brahman Bhag is its application part. How those mantras are to be applied when we are performing a yajna. That is the Brahman Bhag. So this Brahman Bhag is very important. So there are many schools who consider the Sanghita and Brahman Bhag as the original Vedas. They are the main Vedas. Because there is a section, school of thought, who are called Mimamsak. They believe that the mantras which cannot be applied in a yajna are of no use. Only with the mantras, when they are applied with yajna, they can be called Vedic mantra. So they do not consider even the mantras of Upanishad as valid, as very useful mantras, because mantras of Upanishad are not applied with ahuti when in yajna. Mantras of Upanishad, I will come to that gradually, but those mantras in Sanghita portion, they are only applied when a yajna is performed and ahuti is given in the yajna along with those mantras. Like Swaha, you have heard about reciting Swaha, we give ahuti in a yajna. So these are the mantras with which after a mantra we recite Swaha and give this ahuti into the fire of the yajna. So what is the purpose of offering this ahuti and what is the purpose of chanting Swaha? The flame of a fire is always upwards. So Swaha means that we are offering this my offer, the which devata. Each mantra has a devata. Is recited for a devata. So when we recite that mantra and offer ahuti, then it is in fact it is in a way we are praying to fire Agni Devata to take my offering to my Devata to whom I have offered this Indraya Swaha. If I say Indraya Swaha, that means may Agni Devata, may this offering be reach my Devta Indra, whom I am worshipping. So this is how, with the word chanting of Swaha, we offer our ahuti into the yajna kund, and it is that ahuti reaches the devta to whom for whom this prayer is being done. So each mantra has its meaning, and it has effect, and this chanting is to be done correctly. That is why in from since ancient days, this chanting of mantra is very important, considered very important, and the chanting pronunciation should be correct, because in Sanskrit, if the pronunciation of a word changes, meaning also changes. If meaning changes, then its result will also change. So that is why it has been very cautiously in reciting Vedic mantras. One has to be very cautious and very particular about the correctness of pronunciation, and that is why people do not tread into this unless they are properly trained. In ancient times, there was a training on this, and every pronunciation was taught, and those pronunciation which were taught, they were called pratishakha. In the course of time, what happened, this process of chanting, how a mantra will be chanted, there was difference of opinion among rishis. So different schools came into being. So they are known as shakha. So there were various several shakhas. Now most of them are extinct; they are not available, but few are still available. So we will come across them in our next classes. So what is the meaning of this shakha? Mantras are the same, but what is the of shakha? Like in Yajurved, there are several shakhas. Now, two are prominent, which are nowadays recited. One is Madhyandin Shakha, another is Kanva Shakha. Madhyandin Shakha is recited in North India mostly, and Kanva Shakha mostly in South India. And but mantras are the same. Only the method of chanting is different. Shakha means this, and the Pratishakya, this that teaches the way of pronouncing, way of chanting, how it is the mantras to be chanted and pronounced. That the Pratishakya teaches. So this training was given to the students of Vedas in ancient days, and unless a student is taught properly into this and is trained how to pronounce the mantras, he was not authorized to perform a yajna. And this now this is Sanghita portion is this Sanghita Bhag. The meaning of Sanghita Bhag is the main mantras contained in Sanghita Bhag. With these mantras, chanting of these mantras, we offer ahuti in yajnas. This is the Sanghita Bhag. And Brahman Bhag says how these are to be performed. That means in a particular yajna, there are various types of yajnas in the Vedic times. They have names. You have heard about Ashwamedha Yajna. Everyone has heard about Ashwamedha Yajna because Sri Ram had performed Ashwamedha Yajna, where the horse was caught by Lava and Kush. Similarly, in Mahabharata also. So we have heard about Ashwamedha Yajna. This is one of the yajna. But there are other yajnas like Rajasuya Yajna, you have heard about it in Mahabharata, and Soma Yaj. Like this, there are several names, and they are performed for particular purpose. So Brahman Bhag tells us a particular yajna how it is to be performed. How the yajna has a this yajna kund. There is a Vedi, Yajna Vedi, where the fire was lit. So thus it has a special design. It is not that you can put the lit a fire anywhere and it can be called a yaj. No. First step was for to perform a yaj, one has to decide the time, learn about time. So when every yaj has its distinct time. In Vedic yajnas, it has been mentioned which yajna is to be performed and which period, the Rashi, Nakshatra, etc. So it is there is given there. So you cannot perform a yajna on your will. It has all been, everything has been prescribed. When, which yajna is to perform when. If one do not follow the rules, it will not give the required fruits. So that is one thing. And another thing is the place where this yaj kund is to be constructed. That place has to be very pious, pavitra, shuchi sthan, shuchau sthane. So that has to be clean and pure. It cannot be in a dirty place. You cannot perform a yajna. It has to be very clean, neat, and such a place which has been used for this religious purpose, spiritual purpose, and not for other purpose. So this and then the construction of the Vedi. How many sides, which north, south, east, west, and how the side walls of the Vedi, how much height, and with what material it should be constructed, and which kind of wood is to be used to lit the fire. All these are prescribed. You cannot bring any kind of wood and put it there. Like nowadays, there are many kind of wood, plywood. People lit fire with plywood in the winter season and to warm up. So it is not a thing in with which you are warming your body. So it is not ordinary firewood which is utilized for yajna. It is also prescribed what kind of wood should be there. So all these things are there. So these are the things are mentioned in Brahmana. And Brahmana Bhag tells us which yajna is to be performed in what way, and how the mantras are to be recited. There is a yajman, who is performing the yajna, and there are purohits, which I will discuss after some time in our next episode. That how many purohits are there and how the yajna is performed. So this in this yajna, this required when ahuti is given while reciting a mantra, then how this ahuti is to be given while reciting. We know that when you go to the temple, you do a parikrama. In ancient times, parikrama was performed of the yajna vedi, and then ahuti was given. And there are various process of giving the ahuti, and there were is this components for giving this ahuti, where this ghee should be placed and how it is to be offered, and how the way of offering. Also, these are all prescribed. You cannot do in your own way. They are just throwing it in a fire. Not like that. It has to be done in a particular way, so which shows our respect and devotion to the God, to the Devata, to whom I am for whose pleasure I am performing this yajna, and the particular kind of phal which I want, fruit. The yajna, if pronounced and recited properly mantras, they give the fruit. So that is what our scriptures and granthas Gita says. Through this yajna, mankind can achieve his desires and attain whatever he wants. This is what our Vedic rishis has told us. So, and from these mantras also, the thought which come out with the basis of those thoughts on which these mantras have been seen and told by the rishis, with those mantras the Upanishad came later on, and the Upanishads has taken these ideas from this Ved mantras, and they have elaborated it in a different way, and how to realize our true self. That is what Upanishad is. So we will go ahead and we will discuss it in our next episode, that how the other parts of Vedas came about, and what are their function, what are their utility, and how they are being while we perform a yajna, and this role of Vedas in our life, how these Vedas have been the basis of an entire civilization which we call Sanatan, or nowadays called Hindus. The Sanatan civilization is based on this Vedic parampara, on the Vedas, and in our every day-to-day life, in our home, in our customs, we can find some or other the effect of these mantras. So now today there is this much. We will meet again next time and go ahead one by one into this. Namo Namaha.